No.
He painted her a lot.
Could be a face in a magazine. He copied so much.
Did he now?
I picked up a bit of stuff. I hope it was a good wake.
He would have been delighted.
I'm sure he was delighted. I started to get God suddenly.
No, sorry. Outside, please. Oh, is it Mr. Field?
That's right, old son.
I'm Detective Sergeant Lewis.
Do you have children?
I do, sir.
You will take care of this work, won't you?
Oh, we will. I'm very sorry, sir.
I had to come here. Get near to him for a little while. He was always very good to the Smith family. Any ideas who hated him enough to want to kill him? Yeah. Every picture tells a story.
Sir, there was a message from you on your son's answering machine.
What's that?
Something about a shit of the first water. Who would that have been, sir?
Dunno. So many about these days.
I have to go AWOL rather a lot these days. It's so depressing having to look at it. God, I hate orange juice and apple.
You saw quite a bit of Harry, didn't you?
I owned Aladdin's cave. Your wish is my command, oh Harry. It was usually only discount he wanted.
He didn't mention a new commission, did he?
Not to me. Mind you, he was canny about giving me that sort of info. I might have asked for payment of his bill.
It was probably a large landscape.
Really? Well, he might well have been commissioned. He wouldn't have done that sort of thing from choice. He hated landscapes. But if the money was right. He preferred people. I used to tell him he painted them well because he liked them. He told me I was a sentimental old bugger. Let's go and toast him.
Thanks.
What do you think?
It's good.
Really? Is it as dry as you...
It is dry. Lightish.
Lightish, yes. Good. Harry loved it.
I noticed he had a case or two.
Le Grand Cru. A Rolls-Royce taste on a mini income. I bet that's pretty firm, isn't it?
It is.
Good finish.
Very good. So, where did Harry get his money?
Oh, he always pulls something out of the hat. He sailed close to the wind all the time. I practically had to put a leash on him when we were at that wine festival at Cahors. I dread to think what he spent after I went.
He stayed on?
Yes, 10 days or so. A break. Did some painting.
Who did he paint?
How do you mean?
You said he hated landscapes. Lignum crucis arbor scientiae. Hello, Harry. I got your note.
Right now arriving at platform 2 is for London, Paddington, stopping at Reading. The train now arriving.
Is he not in yet?
It's been and gone.
Gone where?
London.
You never told me.
Well, you can sit in here and study pace for a bit. Keep the loo free for the rest of us.
You're a wag, aren't you, Taylor? You didn't tell me you were going to London?
We're not joined at the hip, Lewis. Sorry. It was just the thought. I couldn't sleep. I've got something to show you, Lewis.
I almost turned into a detective today. Had an idea about the girl in the paintings. I recognised the tower in one of them, the one where she's being lifted up into the air. I thought maybe the houses in the picture were where she lived. When I got there, the place was nothing like the picture.
Painters have an annoying habit of painting what they see rather than what's actually there, I'm afraid.
Doyle reckoned Harry had copied her out of a magazine.
Well, it's odd he should paint her so often.
I thought that. Almost obsessively, you could say.
He once told his wife he'd been a forger, but I'm reliably informed he didn't have the skill. But he was up to something. I went to the College of Arms in London. Lignum crucis arbor scientiae. I thought it was a little ponderous to be one of Harry's own. I spoke to a gentleman known as the Blue Mantle Pursuivant.
Really?
He's a herald. The motto was taken by the Fitzwilliam family of Oxford in 1437. Their house was burnt down in 1734. The new home was built in 1750. Harry was just beginning a painting of it. Now, the Fitzwilliams are long gone, but oddly enough, the present owner is a customer of classic touring autos, Paul Eugene Earle. And 300 yards from where Harry's motorcycle was found is the back of the estate. Why don't you get yourself a proper job? George Drummond.
What are you doing here?
Not wearing a long hat and not getting spat at. How are you doing?
All right. How's life on the outside?
Fancy a uniform? And I know what time I'll be home. Old Grumpy just went in. What's it about?
Oh, you know.
No.
Nice house.
Oh, well. You're in luck. He's flogging it. 8.2 million he wants for it. Not bad for a place he normally only uses twice a year. Christmas and the week before Wimbledon.
Yes, sir. Mr. Morse. Paul Earl. Sorry to keep you waiting. We were racing. He went off the road.
Or was he pushed?
Carl? Carl, hold behind band 8 for I.M.W.K.H.F. What can I do for you?
I'm trying to trace...
Name I.M.W.K.H.F. on Hilf E. I'll be there in a second. Sorry.
I'm trying to trace the last movements of a man called Harry Field.
Get a drain, Rod.
Who? Harry Field. Do you know anyone of that name?
No.
He appears to have been about to start work on a painting of this house. He was a professional painter. I wondered whether he'd been commissioned by you.
The last time someone in my family commissioned a picture of a house was my grandfather. The painter was Cézanne. You know Cézanne.
I have a photograph of the man.
Rings no bells.
Telephone. Simon Collier.
J'arrive.
He may have been nearby last week. Were you at home?
Only on Monday. We were in Zurich and... Où est-ce qu'on était la semaine dernière après lundi?
Zurich on Tuesday, Wednesday at the house.
Not Christchurch. My own house in France.
Thursday in London.
With your Minister for the Arts. On Friday, I flew to Scotland with friends. As you see, very busy life. Sorry, I can't help you.
Could I show this photograph to your staff?
But is it very important? They are busy.
I'm investigating a murder, sir.
Near here?
Well, the body was found 15 miles away, but the victim's motorcycle was found nearby.
I see.
A Vincent Black Shadow.
A classic.
Waiting for you, sir. Paul Earl. He only used classic touring autos twice, and he wasn't introduced to them by Harry Field. There's no connection there. And on the day Mrs. Field says she received the phone message from Harry, Earl was in London.
With the Minister for the Arts.
Yeah.
Why Earl's house? The paintings, I don't...
Well, he could have just copied it from a magazine like he did the girl.
The house exists, Lewis. The girl doesn't.
Why are these dues always on the hottest night of the year?
Robes and uniforms impress the honoured guests, sir. And they help disguise the begging bowls.
Well, that's the Chancellor's area of expertise, not mine. So, what was he?
Sergeant Lewis, sir.
What about him?
He wants to try for promotion.
I'm not surprised.
I was wondering if he'd necessarily have to go to another division if he passed his examination.
Well, I imagine he'd want to.
Why?
Well...
What?
Well, let's face it, Morse, he doesn't get much change out of you, does he? I'm amazed he stayed so long, the way you talk to him.
How do I talk to him?
Well, in your way, I suppose. Dismissively.
Nonsense.
Well, you know best, don't you? You've had a very good officer there, Morse. There aren't too many like Lewis. You'll miss him. Still, it's his life, isn't it?
Malt too peaty for you?
I'm getting the hang of it.
Driving?
No, I got a lift from the chief superintendent. He's going to the chancellor's do.
Oh, your friend Earl's probably there. You know, he's talking about donating $2 million to finance a new chair.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, a lot of gowns have been washed and ironed since that was announced. Anyway, look, there aren't a lot of photographs. It's been one of the finest Renaissance collections never seen. Earl's father was circumspect about who saw what. Dodgy provenance about all the stuff acquired during the war. Read Nazi loot. Anyway, these are what I'll want to see if the collection ever does get here. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely priceless.
What is it?
It, Morse, is the only known portrait of Giovanni Bellini by Albrecht Dürer. Tempera on panel. Do you know, it had been in Earl's father's collection for years before someone had the presence of mind to clean it and they discovered what they'd got.
When was that?
Oh, 40-odd years ago. Earl's father gloated over the collection for the rest of his life.
Is Earl selling this?
No. It's his father's memorial. No, he's offering to lease it to this country for 10 years. All he's asking in return is $5 million. Tiepolo by the yard. That's a superb collection. But would 250,000 people a year pay £2 each to see it? The Earl lobby in Whitehall says yes.
Who is she?
Jane Marriott. I tried to reach you last night.
I was studying the Renaissance.
Pity the bloke who built this lot didn't.
Oh, good work, Lewis. Very good. Jane Marriott?
You won't have it. Sit down.
No, I'm fine.
Who told you about me?
My sergeant found you. One of Harry's paintings.
She'll shut up in a minute. Was it the booze that killed him?
A fall.
Not drunk. Poor old Harry.
How did you meet him?
Through my teacher at school, Tony Doyle. They're mates. I done some... I shouldn't say, really. I was only 15. No, it was all right, really. I did some posing for Tony. Some photos for his work. Well, he said they were. Harry saw some of them, and he wanted to paint me. He paid me. It was all right.
How did you get on with Harry?
Great. He done some really nice pictures. My mum's got one up in her house.
Do you have any of them?
No. You seen any of them?
Yes.
You seen me stripped then? His wife must be upset.